Well, good morning. I hereby call this meeting to order. Ask everyone to please take their seats. We are always pleased to have Bobby Stem with the AOGC with us and Mike Patterson, former Oklahoma Secretary of Transportation. Thank you for joining us. The Secretary will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn. Mr. Grimsley.
Grimsley here.
Mr. Shannon.
Here.
Mr. Freimiller. Mr.
Here.
Dyson.
Dyson here.
Mr. Alexander.
Alexander here.
Mr. LaForge.
LaForge here.
Mr. Junk.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here. And I might mention at this time that Commissioner Freimiller is here. He is unable to vote as he's not in his district. He's out of town. But he will be participating in the meeting. He participated in this morning's subcommittee meeting. Secretary Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Very much appreciate you indulging us with a little bit of a safety campaign this morning, and especially enjoyed watching Chief Taylor struggle a little bit to find one of those vests that fits. But really, April is the month that we put an extra emphasis on work zone safety awareness as the summer highway construction season and driving season gets started. And drivers can expect more than 160 work zones on highways and turnpikes statewide this spring and summer. These work zones are going to range from short-term bridge maintenance projects with minimal impact to major interstate reconstruction, which can affect sometimes more than 100,000 vehicles per day. Additionally, ODOT and OTA crews and contractors are performing routine and reactive maintenance daily, everything from repairing damaged guardrail to patching potholes and mowing. In the past 5 years, 91 people, including one ODOT worker, were killed and 1,294 people were injured in more than 7,125 collisions in Oklahoma work zones. While 2022 data is still coming in, 5 people were killed and 81 were injured in 273 collisions in work zones through May of 2022. Crashes involving commercial motor vehicles, semi-trucks in Oklahoma work zones are also among the highest in the nation. In 2021, there were 93 work zone fatality crashes with an additional 120 crashes resulting in serious injuries that involved commercial motor vehicles. Overall, crashes and traffic fatalities in Oklahoma are up here in the state and nationwide. The data in Oklahoma shows that drivers and passengers are far more likely than workers to lose their lives in crashes inside of our construction work zones. One of the simplest ways to avoid a fatality in a crash is to always wear a seatbelt. Oklahoma ranks 40th in the nation for seatbelt use, and we really have to improve on that by making good choices every time we get behind the wheel of a vehicle, by making sure not just yourself, but all occupants are buckled up. Our theme is Make It Home Safe, Make Oklahoma Safe. We can all do that, motorists and workers, by following a few simple rules of the road, such as buckling up, putting away distractions, and slowing down and observing the posted speed limits inside of work zones. We must spread the message that any crash that results in serious injury or fatality affects more than just the driver. The choices you make behind the wheel can affect your family, your friends, and your community forever. We have a multifaceted outreach campaign with ODOT and OTA and other partners to remind drivers about the need for extra caution and complete attention in construction work zones. Today we're going to have a governor's proclamation, but I think at this time, and I'm going to turn and look at Jessica, we've got a public service announcement that the department has developed that is queued up on a video.
Hi, I'm Dot, the Safety Sentinel. Did you know speeding was the leading cause of work zone collisions in 2020 and 2021? When passing by those orange cones, be sure to take extra precautions to slow down, put away distractions, and keep extra space between you and the vehicles ahead of you.
When driving through work zones, we want you and our crews to make it home safe and help us make Oklahoma safe.
So the governor has given us a proclamation declaring Work Zone Safety Awareness Week, and I would read the proclamation. Whereas the state of Oklahoma is dedicated to providing a strong transportation infrastructure system for travel and commerce on both the local and national levels, and whereas the construction and maintenance of Oklahoma highways, interstates, and turnpikes must often be done while roads are still under traffic, where both motorists and highway workers must share the road, and whereas a work zone can be unexpected and temporary during emergency repairs or crashes, placing crews and responders in direct contact with traffic, and whereas in its history, 72 Oklahoma Department of Transportation and Oklahoma Turnpike Authority employees have been killed in the line of duty, more than any other state agencies except the military, and whereas in 2022, 5 people were killed and 81 were injured in more than 273 collisions in Oklahoma work zones through May of 2022, and many of these fatalities and injuries were caused by inattentive driving, following too closely, and speeding in construction zones. And whereas in the past 5 years, 91 people were killed and 1,294 people were injured in more than 7,000 collisions on highway and turnpike work zones. And whereas by state law, the fines for speeding in work zones are doubled and texting while driving is banned, drivers are asked to remain vigilant behind the wheel and buckle up, as at least 50% of crashes potentially would have been less severe for drivers wearing a seatbelt. And whereas ODOT and OTA are highlighting work zone awareness during a month-long public safety initiative with the theme, Make It Home Safe, Make Oklahoma Safe. Now, therefore, I, J. Kevin Stitt, Governor of the State of Oklahoma, as part of National Work Zone Awareness Observation, do hereby proclaim April 17th through the 21st, 2023, as Oklahoma Work Zone Awareness Week in the state of Oklahoma. Commissioners, again, I appreciate the time this morning to talk a little bit about something that is in the front of our minds each and every day. April, we put an extra emphasis on it, but this is something the department works hard at each and every day because we are out there and our employees are out there in harm's way, working closely with our private sector partners, our construction contractors, and we really, really emphatically plead with the traveling public to pay attention in our work zones and be extremely careful. With that, I would like to bring forward some of our field representatives that have come to the commission this morning and really want to get them to come up. If you wouldn't mind, if you can stand at your chair, we'll have a little bit of a photo op with these folks and really appreciate their efforts out there on the transportation system every day.
Thank you, Secretary Gatz. Item 48 is approval of the minutes of the Transportation Commission meeting on March 6, 2023. Do I have a motion for approval of item 48?
So moved, Grimsley.
Second, Dyson.
Second, Dyson. Any discussion? Secretary will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. The motion passes. Item 49 is the election of Transportation Commission officers. General Counsel Sarah Penn will present this item.
Good morning, Commissioners. We'll be doing our elections this morning, and I am just here for technical and moral support. Commissioner Peterson, I believe you should proceed.
Thank you very much. And how often are these held?
This is once every 2 years in the odd-numbered years after the 15th of March, so that would be the April meeting. I don't know why it says that in the rules, but it says after the 15th of March.
All right, thank you. I open the floor for nominations for the position of secretary. Any commissioner can make a nomination. Nominations do not require a second. I would nominate Commissioner Coburn for secretary. Are there further nominations?
Second the nomination.
If not, then do I have a motion to close nominations?
So move Grimsley.
Mr. Commissioner Grimsley, do I have a second to that?
Second, Dyson.
Sherry, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. So the motion carries. It's unanimous. I will now open the floor for nominations for the position of vice chair. Hearing none, I would nominate Commissioner Dyson for vice chair.
I second.
And we don't need a second, but thank you, Bobby. Any commissioner can make a nomination. So we have Commissioner Dyson for vice chair. If there are no other further nominations, do I have a motion to close nominations?
So move Grimsley.
Commissioner Grimsley, a second.
Second Coburn.
And Commissioner Coburn, second. Sherry, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. I will now open the floor for nominations for the position of chairman.
I would like to nominate Bob Peterson for chairman.
Are there any other nominations?
Commissioner, I would ask that you...
Yep.
Are there any,
Stop talking.
are there any other nominations for chairman? If not, do we have a motion? So move Grimsley.
You need a second.
Need a second?
Second.
Second by, all right. Motion carried. Let's, Sherry, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, only a slight hiccup there. All right. Consent docket. Consent docket contains items 50 through 52. If any commissioner would like to pull an individual item out for discussion, he may do so at this time. Otherwise, I'll hear a motion for approval of the consent docket.
So move Grimsley.
Commissioner Grimsley, and do I have a second?
Second Coburn.
Commissioner Coburn. Secretary will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes, and the motion passes. On to item 53. Item 53 is engineering contracts. Mr. Tigler, you're recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, Mr. Secretary. Congratulations on your new positions.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Item 53, I have 6 parts to the engineering contracts this month. Part A is a statewide, all districts, on-demand land surveying. Department has selected 9 firms to provide this service. They are Benchmark Construction Services, Carroll Surveying and Mapping, CEC Corporation, Frontier Land Surveying, Heartland Surveying and Mapping, Keystone Engineering and Land Surveying, Park Hill Smith and Cooper, Universal Surveying and Mapping, and White Hawk Engineering and Design. Total aggregate not to exceed amount for these 9 contracts is $6,750,000. Part B, McIntosh County, District 1. Department has selected the Schemmer Associates to prepare construction plans for State Highway 9. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility. Total not to exceed amount is $427,443. Project is in the 8-year construction work plan, let date of 2029. Part C in Johnston County in District 3. Department has selected Freeze and Nichols, this preliminary engineering and construction plans for US 377. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a 2-lane road, intersection modification, and geometric and safety improvements. Total not to exceed amount is $1,500,000. Project is included in the 8-year construction work plan schedule, let date of 2026. Part D in Logan County in District 4. Department has selected Hudson Prince Engineering and Inspection, construction plans for State Highway 74. The proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a 2-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $2,739,587. Projects are included in the 8-year construction work plan schedule, let date of 2028. Part E in Roger Mills County in District 5. The department has selected CEC Corporation to prepare construction plans for US 283. The proposed improvements are adding shoulders to a 2-lane road. Total not to exceed amount is $107,746. Project is in the 8-year construction work plan schedule, let date of 2030. And finally, Part F in Harper County, District 6. The department has selected Cowan Group Engineering to prepare construction plans for US 183. Project proposed improvements are adding shoulders to a 2-lane road, geometric improvements, and replacing a bridge on an offset alignment. Total not to exceed amount is $505,870. This project as well is in the 8-year construction work plan in 2024. Approval is recommended. Answer any questions if you gentlemen have any this morning.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 53?
Motion, Dyson?
And a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Shannon. Any discussion? All right, Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn?
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley?
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon?
Yes.
Mr. Dyson?
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander?
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge?
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes, the motion passes. Item 54 is engineering contract supplements. Mr. Tigler, you are recognized to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have 7 parts this month. Part A is our statewide all districts on-demand overload permit studies. Department previously selected Grossman and Keith Engineering to provide this service. Total increase for this contract supplement is $50,000. Part B in McCurtain County in District 2. Department previously authorized H.W. Lochner to perform engineering and construction plans for State Highway 3. The proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a 2-lane road, intersection modification, and safety improvements. Supplement not to exceed amount is $11,300. This project is in the 8-year construction work plan in 2023. Part C in Canadian County in District 4. Department previously authorized Freeze and Nichols to prepare construction plans for US 81 at the State Highway 66 junction in El Reno. Proposed project improvements are intersection modification and rehabilitate the existing facility. Supplement not to exceed amount is $44,400. Project is also in the 8-year construction work plan and let date of 2023. Part D in K County in District 4. Department previously authorized Aguirre and Fields to prepare construction plans for US 60. Proposed project improvements are reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility and safety improvements. Supplement not to exceed amount is $35,632. This project is also in the 8-year construction work plan in 2023. Part E in Caddo County in District 7. Department previously authorized H.W. Lochner to prepare construction plans for State Highway 58. Proposed project improvements are adding shoulders to a two-lane road. Supplement not to exceed amount is $219,113. Project is also in the 8-year construction work plan in 2025. Part F in Rogers County in District 8. Department previously authorized Benham Design to perform preliminary engineering and construction plans for the I-44 US 412 interchange. The improvements, of course, are the interchange, operational and safety improvements in geometry, and reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility. Supplement not to exceed is $1,654,954.13. Project is included in the 8-year construction work plan and scheduled let date of 2024. And finally, Part G in Tulsa County, District 8. Previously authorized Poe and Associates to prepare construction plans for the I-44 US 75 interchange, known as the Work Package Number 3. Proposed improvements are adding capacity to the roadway, some sidewalks on a bridge, trail bridge, and traffic control devices, geometric improvements, and replace a bridge on an offset alignment. Supplement not exceed amount is $299,650. Project is in the 8-year construction as well in 2023. Approval is recommended. Answer any questions if anyone has any.
I'm probably not going to phrase this very well, but most of these supplements are pretty low dollars, most all of them below 6 figures.
Yep.
The one in Rogers County, my district, was for $1.6 million, and then the one below it, $300,000. Does this mean that the engineers, when they originally, or the fees originally contemplated, simply proved to not be efficient, or you discovered things in the design or in the work?
In some cases, this one, as you were speaking, in Rogers County, yes, we modified some things kind of at the late hour, so we're redoing some things, making some bigger changes, so yes.
Are the engineers coming to you, or are you going to them saying?
Sometimes it's both, Mr. Chairman. Sometimes it's usually us asking for that, hey, we need to go a different route. Then they will send in their proposed hours, and we negotiate and go forward.
Do you know what Benham's original fee was for that?
I want to say, since this is, I really don't, but I can get that to you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see how much so far is over $8 million.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
going to say it's probably in that $4 to $5
Yeah,
million.
well, it's, of course, a humongous interchange. Okay, thank you. I know
And this
it's
is
gone
the
over-
interchange that's just directly east of I-44 and 193rd Street. So there's a lot of major mainline work that's going on at that location.
193rd?
Yeah, 193rd.
Okay,
Yep. And right before the turnpike starts heading northeast.
right, got it. Okay, thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 54?
Make a motion.
Commissioner Alexander, do I have a second?
Second, Dyson.
Commissioner Dyson. Any discussion? Secretary will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Thank you. Item 55 is change orders with a cumulative total of $75,000 or less. This is for information only. Mr. Leonard, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. Congratulations. I'd like to present item number 55, parts A through K. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders of $75,000 or less. This item is presented for your information only, and no action is necessary, but I'd certainly be glad to answer any questions.
And if there are no questions, Mr. Leonard, you are recognized to present item 56, which is change orders with a cumulative total greater than $75,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, item number 56, parts A through U. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $75,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Commissioner, I was looking for some notes I made and I couldn't find them. So Commissioner Coburn has made a motion for approval, and Commissioner Dyson, second. Any discussion?
It was LaForge, second.
Pardon me? Oh,
LaForge,
excuse me,
second.
LaForge, thank you. Any discussions?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment real
Please.
quickly on this. A lot of times, we are good stewards on programs. If we get into it, we realize we need to do something else or additional. So running over a little bit doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It actually means sometimes we're saving taxpayers more money in the long run. So I think it's not just we're supporting overrunning projects. There's reasons, there's unknowns that they run into, and sometimes it's in the best interest of the public that we do this. So.
I certainly understand. Thank you, Commissioner Grimsley. All right. Secretary, will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes?
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Item 57 is proposed bid openings. Mr. Hackney, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Item 57, proposed bid openings, consists of the final May 2023, tentative June 2023, and tentative July 2023 bid openings. The department recommends approval.
You've heard the you've heard the presentation. Do I have a nomination to approve item 57?
So moved, Grimsley.
Commissioner Grimsley, and second, Commissioner Coburn. And any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes?
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Thank you. Item 58 is settlement of claim for Wildcat Construction Company Incorporated. Mr. Davis, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. This is a claim for additional payment to Wildcat Construction Incorporated. This is on project SBR 4146 in the whole SB. It's a bridge rehabilitation project on I-40 over South Maple Road out in Canadian County. This bridge rehabilitation contract was awarded to by the Oklahoma Transportation Commission on May 2nd, 2022 to Wildcat Construction for a total contract amount of $1.2 million and some change. Contract time was 120 calendar days. In the early stages of the project, Wildcat and ODOT representatives conducted a site visit to inspect the existing parapet walls of both the eastbound and westbound bridges. Plans had called for minimal rehabilitation work, but it was quickly determined that, due to the extensive nature of the spalled concrete and deterioration of the underlying reinforcing steel, the planned work would not be sufficient to return these elements to a good state of repair. ODOT requested that Wildcat provide a proposal to remove and replace the inside and outside parapet walls on both bridges. The proposal was approved with a total estimated cost of $166,667.06. Due to this amount exceeding the statutory 10% or $150,000, whichever is greater, limit on projects exceeding $1 million, approval of a claim is needed to compensate the contractor for completing the repairs. The entitlement for this claim is recognized by the department, and it is recommended that the commission authorize a settlement in the amount of $16,667.06. Approval is recommended, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 58?
Move for approval, LaForge.
Forge. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Shannon. Any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes?
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Item 59 is award of 2022 Transportation Alternative Projects. Ms. Williams, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Agenda item 59 is a request for your approval for the 2022 Transportation Alternative Award recommendations. The recommended projects include improved connectivity, pedestrian bicycle facilities, community improvements, recreational trails, and safer routes to school. There were 135 applications received with a request for $95 million in federal funding. The department is requesting your award of 62 projects in all 8 districts, totaling $52,183,324. This award is for the remaining FY 2022 funds, FY 23 and 24 funding. Your approval is recommended, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
You've heard the presentation. Ms. Williams appeared in our subcommittee earlier, and didn't you hit all of the other subcommittees? So the commissioners have all been briefed in detail on this particular item. So thank you for your presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 59?
Motion Dyson.
Thank you, Commissioner Dyson. Do I have a second?
Second, Alexander.
Second, Commissioner Alexander, and any discussion on this? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Item 60 is request for approval of Bridge Formula Program funding. Ms. Williams, you may continue.
Agenda item 60 is requesting your approval of Bridge Formula Program funding for structurally deficient bridges that are located within incorporated city limits. There are currently 195 SD bridges on the municipal system. This initial $10 million investment of federal funds will replace 11 bridges in 8 different cities. A robust selection process evaluates each structure with consideration being given to ADT, population, school bus routes, load posting, local match, detour length, age of structure, and the cost of rehabilitation versus replacement. Your approval is recommended, and I'll be happy to answer any questions regarding this item.
Thank you. And once again, Ms. Williams presented this to each of the subcommittees in some detail earlier this morning. So you've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 60?
Motion Dyson.
Thank you, Commissioner Dyson. Do I have a second?
Second, LaForge.
Commissioner LaForge, second. Any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Ms. Williams. Thank you. Item 61 is awards. Mr. Dels, you are recognized to present.
Morning, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. Item 61 are recommendations from the March bid openings. It's in 2 parts. Part A is the recommendations from the March 9th bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the March 9th bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. It's call order 700, 705, 707, 710, 715, 720, 730, 735, 740, 745, 755, the base bid plus the add alternate 1. Call order 760. Call order 765, base bid only. Call order 775, 785, 790, and 795. Part B are recommendations from the March 16th bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the March 16th bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. This call order is 900, 903, 906, 909, 912, 915, 921, 924, 930, 933, 936, 942, 945, and 948. This includes recommendations for awards, and your approval is requested.
Thank you, Mr. Dels. You've heard the presentation. Commissioners, do I have a motion for approval of item 61?
Move for approval, LaForge.
Second, Coburn.
And a second, Commissioner Coburn. Any discussion? Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn,
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley,
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon,
Yes.
Mr. Dyson,
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander,
Alexander, yes.
Mr. LaForge,
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk,
Junk, yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. The motion passes. Excuse me. Thank you. Item 62 is the Director's Report. Secretary Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. I want to talk just for a minute about the Transportation Alternatives Program and the job that Shelley and her team in local government do to really make sure that we're conducting an appropriate level of outreach to the partners that are interested in these types of projects, communities, et cetera. And, you know, the work that's accomplished for the investment level that we have here in Oklahoma is significant, and it really is of tremendous impact to those communities. So we really appreciate their work and to get as broad a coverage and the level of engagement, takes a lot of work. And I don't want that to go unrecognized or unnoticed. Likewise, with the Bridge Formula program funding and our efforts around structurally deficient bridges, not just on the highway system, but on the county road system and the municipalities. And again, the work that Shelley and her team does in conjunction with our bridge division, bridge designers, they really work hard to make sure that we identify bridges that are really in need and make sure that we get the resources to the right places. So again, you've got these spread across the state in different communities. And this Bridge Formula program, I'm going to tell you, the Department of Transportation here in Oklahoma is going above and beyond working with our local entities, county commissioners and municipalities, to make sure that we're getting at these locations that otherwise are likely to go unaddressed. So again, congratulations to Shelley and the team. And, in that same construction work zone awareness, all of the projects included will eventually be handled and managed by the folks behind me that are going to be out there working in those construction work zones every day. So again, it takes a team effort, and the Department of Transportation's got a great team that works on all of our transportation system, and especially in partnership with some of our important partners. So I want to talk just for a minute about our electric vehicle scoring rubric that's become available. And, Oklahoma, through the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, received $66 million of funding that will be from the time the Jobs Act went into effect last year through the next coming 5 years. This summer, we have $23 million of that available for what I'd consider phase one. And that really is going to focus on charging infrastructure around our interstate system. That money is going to be awarded to applicants to build out that charging infrastructure that's certainly within distance of the interstate system, and targeting primarily those 150 kilowatt hour charging ports for up to 4 vehicles each. And again, our goal is to have those right in this phase located within a mile of key interstate interchanges. Before we award those funds, we've created that scoring rubric to help rate the applications. And right now, as part of our public engagement, public involvement, that rubric will be available out on the EVOK website, and that's oklahoma.gov/EVOK. And I believe that's going to go live today. And we'll continue to, again, really work hard to get appropriate public involvement, public engagement. The rubric is establishing the scoring criteria that will carry us forward into a request for proposal process. That again will help us dedicate the original tranche of funding under the EV charging stations. Just getting started. Jared Swinnison and his team has done a great job working with our consultant partners to stand up this program, and we're looking forward to getting started. So pause for just a second. Happy to answer any questions EV related. Also, the other thing that's exciting that's coming up over the summer will be our Fair Miles Oklahoma program. And that program was asked of us by the legislature to stand up a pilot program and go gather some information that will be of assistance in setting future policy around some pretty important subject matter. So this financial pilot program is going to help us take a hard look at what opportunities might be out there to replace the motor fuel tax that, again, because of a lot of different factors, will become less and less of an effective tool in infrastructure investment. So again, the enrollment for Fair Miles and that pilot program is underway. We've got about 75 people that are enrolled so far, and several hundred more that have indicated an interest. And enrollment really means that you're going to help us test this out. It's not a monetary test, so there won't be any change in the revenue structure. It's just simply a pilot project, and we are asking the traveling public to assist us in coming up with some reporting about what worked well, what maybe didn't work so well, some of the concerns that they have. So it's really something to just get us started and put our first step down the path to something that is more futuristic. The Tulsa Auto Show is April the 14th, and there's going to be an additional enrollment available there. And we're trying to get a broad cross-section of Oklahoma citizenry, whether that's urban and rural, in all the different age groups, and certainly we want a adequate representation of Oklahoma's population engaged and involved. And our goal is to have about 600 enrolled before we really kick the pilot off in June. Subsequent to that, again, we'll gather all the data up, and our goal is to report that out by the end of September or end of December, rather. Don't want to hurry that up any more than it already is rushed. But our goal is to report out by the end of December to the legislature. And again, they will use that just as a policy tool to talk about some things that may work or may not work for the state of Oklahoma. So I'd be happy again to pause for just a second and see if anybody has questions about that pilot. I really, really feel strongly that this is important for our future. And again, there are a lot of different aspects that we're going to have to make sure we've got good policy around, but this is a good step just to test some things out. So
We're not the only state doing that. There are many other, I think Oregon was an early leader, Colorado, several others.
yeah, there are many states that are taking a hard look at some type of a road user charge format for the future. And again, I think it's inherent as we continue to evolve with different alternative fuel types, et cetera, to find some common ground about how we want to do this. And there's also a national initiative where USDOT is going to undertake something very similar.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
I want to again put a real exclamation point on work zone safety awareness and work zone awareness by touching on a few of the projects that we've got up and coming that are going to be, every construction work zone is disruptive, but we've got a few here that are coming up that I think I would really like to call some attention to. So US 77 resurfacing in Edmond, and obviously that's a very heavily traveled way. That's an overlay project, and again, we're going to do everything that we can to do this work at night, limit traffic and driveway impacts, but we really want the motorists to be aware that this is coming, and again, it's near term, all this weather dependent, but starting sometime this week or next week in April. I-40 in Douglas, we've got a interchange improvement there at Tinker Air Force Base. It's a significant project, about $170 million. That will build a single-point urban interchange at Douglas Boulevard and then widen I-40 from the three-lane section there at Douglas, extending east to connect with the work that we've done out at Choctaw Road. Again, that's an investment in moving traffic and really, really important to Tinker Air Force Base and the future of their mission, along with local traffic. Those single-point urban interchanges move traffic much more efficiently than the existing interchange that's there today, and we're excited about getting this project going. Look for some lane and ramp closures coming up, and like I said, everybody needs to be on the lookout because that's a big project. One of the ongoing projects that we've got that has received a lot of attention of late is US 169 to westbound I-244, 412 bridge replacement, and I-244 over Mingo Creek, which is more of a maintenance activity. Those projects were awarded in September of 2022, expected to be finished in about 2 years, spring of 2024, and that's replacing that ramp on a new alignment. But it's going to be disruptive, continue to be disruptive. The work started, one lane's closed on I-244, and both ramps from US 169 are narrowed. So again, be aware, traveling through that area, very high volume. US 62 over the Arkansas River Bridge there at Muskogee, $74 million project that started in September. Work is ongoing, and again, the thing that's a little bit unique about that location is we're using blasting for some of the demolition, and that blasting does require short-term full closures of US 62 while those operations are conducted. I've been advised this morning that we have one coming up that is currently scheduled for Tuesday, April the 11th. And again, those closures are usually 30 minutes or less because we've got to check things out after those blasts occur. We want to make sure that no traffic is traveling in those areas while that operation is ongoing. And again, we do our best to make sure we're communicating with the city, Muskogee, and our first responder partners, and also the Corps of Engineers and the Coast Guard at that particular location because of the navigation system, and those being navigation bridges. So public needs to be aware that that operation is ongoing. US 259 south of Idabel is a rural two-lane highway that is having shoulders added to it. This is an extremely important project to the area. Lots of accidents, high traffic volumes for that kind of a rural two-lane highway, and a really important project. It was awarded late last summer, but between a flexible start date and then a wintertime shutdown, it's just now getting ready to go to construction and get going. And of course, we've had some unusually wet weather down there of late. Had about 20 inches of rain in the area over the last 60 days. So all of this being weather dependent, but that project is imminent and about to get started. So another one to be aware of. Had the great honor of going to the Eufaula Dam on State Highway 71 in District 1 to do a ribbon cutting with the Corps of Engineers on a project that reconstructed the State Highway 71 bridge that goes across Eufaula Lake Dam. Really exemplifies what we can accomplish working together, because without the department's help, that project wouldn't have gotten done. And that particular location is a little bit unique because we had a bridge there and work that needed to be done on the dam to bring it up to a better state of repair. And our bridge was on the verge of certainly being load posted at a significant level, if not completely closed. So excited to get that project completed. Chris Wallace and the District 1 team did a great job working with the Corps of Engineers, and really excited about getting to cut a ribbon on that project. Lots of innovation there at that location. We had precast panels that were brought in for the bridge deck, and we used some high-performance, high-strength concrete on the structure also. And again, it was really good to work with the Corps. That won't be the last location. We've got work ahead of us on State Highway 100 at Lake Tenkiller, and at some point State Highway 251A at Lake Fort Gibson. So work in the future. But those partnerships, there was a time when if we wanted to partner and bring some resources to the Corps of Engineers, it literally took an act of Congress for them to be able to take those resources. With the help of Senator Inhofe, we were able to make some changes, and now we regularly can partner with the Corps of Engineers and do so. And the relationships that foster that kind of a work environment don't happen by accident. That happens over the course of many years and a lot of work by a lot of people. And the Tulsa District of the Corps of Engineers is a really good transportation partner for us, and we work very well with them. So a couple of resurfacing projects on I-40 out west of El Reno. We've got an overlay project that's starting just west of I-40 Business, and it'll be ongoing, so there'll be some traffic disruption on Interstate 40. And starting in July, a resurfacing project between Morgan Road and MacArthur Boulevard here in Oklahoma City. Anytime you do work on the interstate anywhere, it's majorly disruptive for traffic. And certainly these two projects will be no exception. And the important thing is, and Trenton and the D4 team have done a good job of being a little bit innovative with the construction sequencing, so we're going to try to do some things both at night and then over the weekends to move those projects very quickly forward, and there are certainly still going to be disruptive to traffic, but we've done everything we can to incentivize completion quick and also to do some things a little bit differently that may help in the long term. And then finally, I-35 and I-240, one of our most significant interstate-to-interstate interchanges, has a next phase that is going under construction, and that phase focuses on the outside work around the interchange, but includes a protected turnaround at 59th Street, replacement of some railroad bridges, and a new northbound I-35 to eastbound I-240 connection ramp, pavement upgrades on 240 and 35 and the frontage roads. So one more phase of a significant interchange project. And when you get in the metropolitan areas, work at the interchanges are extremely important, whether that's I-44 and US 75 in Tulsa, that's a major traffic mover, whether that's work like we've done out here at 235 and 44 that took a long time to complete, but we're finally seeing the benefits and the improvement to traffic flows through that interchange. And again, we have to be diligent with those investments to make sure that we're improving travel time reliability in the metropolitan areas. And it's always that careful balance as we invest our resources. And you gentlemen are certainly an important part of that conversation, whether it's investing in reliability in our urban areas, whether that's bridge infrastructure and making progress out on our bridges, or whether that is investing in our rural two lanes and trying to make a difference in the safety of the rural twos that don't have safety shoulders. So it takes all of the above, and again, the department very much appreciates your support for making these projects happen, and just ask the traveling public to be work zone aware as we go forward. Mr. Chairman, with that, I would stand for any questions that the commission may have.
Would it be appropriate to touch on the change in the subcommittee makeups?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown, and again, these are proposed.
Okay.
And as we've discussed, if we've got questions or discussion that we want to have between now and the May meeting, because these changes would take effect at the May meeting. And our Operations and Administration Subcommittee proposed is Commissioner Peterson, Commissioner Alexander, and Commissioner Grimsley. Our Audit and Budget Subcommittee, as proposed, is Commissioner Dyson, Commissioner Coburn, and Commissioner Junk. And our Pre-Construction and Human Resources is proposed as Commissioner Shannon, Commissioner LaForge, and Commissioner Freymiller. And again, that's our recommendations, Mr. Chairman. Happy to have conversations about any of those assignments if any of the commissioners have concerns or questions.
I wanted to add, I think everyone in this room knows that we meet beforehand, each of us commissioners in these subcommittees, and debate everything, discuss everything that's on that we approve. And so we seem like quite an agreeable group. But again, all this has been studied hard and presented very, very capably by the staff. So I just think that needs to be touched on every now and then. So,
Mr. Chairman, I would second that. All of the commission items that you act on today are very carefully vetted throughout the process. You know, sometimes before we get into subcommittee meetings, and certainly in the subcommittees, we take those items up in great detail. So.
Yep. Yep, 5 years on the audit committee. Ms. Helmus is anxious for me to move on. So it would only be fair to say that. So if commissioners have no other comments, then I'd hear a motion for item 63, which is adjournment.
So moved.
Commissioner Shannon, do I have a second?
Second, Dyson.
Commissioner Dyson, the secretary will please call the roll.
Mr. Coburn?
Coburn, yes.
Mr. Grimsley?
Grimsley, yes.
Mr. Shannon?
Yes.
Mr. Dyson?
Dyson, yes.
Mr. Alexander?
yes.
Mr. LaForge?
LaForge, yes.
Mr. Junk?
Yes.
Mr. Peterson?
Yes, we are adjourned.